and puts other cases on the back burner.
So you've got people jumping in here wanting immediate results in their case, so the family court has to hurry itself, and it already has a lot of cases.
Family court sources tell the I-Team they're suspicious about the similar way these cases begin, often with an older man from the neighborhood petitioning to become the young man's guardian. Some guardians will say they're an uncle or just an acquaintance from the local temple. They testify they want to house the young man and take full financial responsibility for him. Family court insiders tell the I-Team they suspect many of the guardianships are merely a ploy to help the young men get access to a judge, so they can tell their story of abuse or abandonment and get on that fast track to a green card, which is more like gold because it allows them permanent legal residency and the right to work.
I think what you're trying to imply is that they're gaming the system. And I stand by my client's facts. They have enough evidence, more than enough evidence.
SCAM, scam, big scam.
Indrajit Saluja publishes a weekly newspaper for Indian American readers. He tells the I-Team he has interviewed some of the guardians who told him they were paid thousands of dollars to appear in court.
It's a business. The people who are smuggling these, young people, they find guardians here and they pay them.
And it's a story the I-Team has also heard from other court insiders. One of Saluja's sources told him in a recorded conversation that the young men and their families paid big money to a smuggling enterprise with hooks all the way from India to Queens. The goal? To deliver the young men over the Mexican border and onto this special immigration pathway. While we could not independently confirm his source's claim that he was paid illegally to play the role of guardian, we did verify the source's identity and that he had gone to court to become a guardian not once, but 4 times since 2011, which family court insiders say is fishy. In addition to his newspaper work, the I-Team learned Mr. Saluja also has experience working as a Punjabi interpreter in Queen's family court.
Every single day, the judge hears the same thing. My father beats me with a belt. My father punches me. What kind of image are we creating for Punjabi parents? That hurts me. All nonsense. The simple truth is that they want to come here. They want to come and make money here.
We've spent a lot of time here in family court in recent months looking into many different cases. And in one particular case, we even heard a lawyer here in the public waiting room prepping the young man and his guardian before seeing the judge. The lawyer clearly coached them to change their answers. "Did your mom okay this guardianship?" the lawyer asked. The young man said yes, but the lawyer said no, correcting him. "You're not supposed to have spoken to your mother." The lawyer asked the guardian if he had been providing basic expenses. When the guardian said no, the lawyer said, "Yes, you have. Say you have been." And during hearings inside the courtroom, we listened as some judges seemed frustrated trying to get straight answers from the young men about their ages, dates of birth, when they arrived, and how they were abused. The young men tell stories of many month-long journeys from India, crossing oceans, and eventually the Mexican border. Some of the testimony we heard makes you wonder, why would a parent who starved and beat their son with a stick also mortgage the family home in India to pay smugglers $80,000 or $100,000 for his journey to a better life? Judges tell the I-Team, despite their questions, their hands are tied.
The process, in my opinion, is faulty.
Queen's Family Court Judge John Hunt says there's no way for judges to verify the testimony in these cases.
It's a one-sided proceeding. There is basically, you don't have a way of investigating it yourself, and as a result, it becomes pretty much taking what's said at face value.
Judge Hunt put it bluntly when deciding the case of another Amandeep Singh last year.
And he was very unclear on details.
In his ruling, he wrote the court can act as little more than a rubber stamp based on self-serving evidence.
So even if you didn't believe it, there's nothing you could do. Nobody was disputing it. So you sort of have to grant it?
There's no reason not to. There is a community of people who may have the insight and the knowledge of this law more so than others, and they are merely taking advantage of what the law allows.
While that federal law may allow it,
it's a total abuse of the law, and it's a scam that's out there.
Members of Congress who passed that law tell the I-Team
it was never, ever intended for this purpose. The clear intention of the law was to protect young kids from sexual exploitation.
Congressman Peter King says it was meant primarily for victims of trafficking, not for young adults who voluntarily pay to have themselves smuggled here.
Until I read this decision, I was not aware that the family court was being used as a vehicle to violate, in effect, the purpose and the spirit of a federal law to give asylum to people that we never intended to get it.
If they're escaping for a legitimate reason.
Immigration lawyer Richa Puri says the special pathway is desperately needed to protect undocumented young people on U.S. soil. She says while it would be highly unethical to fabricate stories of abuse or pay guardians to participate, she also says just because many of the Punjabi kids' names and stories are similar does not make them false.
Amandeep Singh is an extremely common name. That's like saying, Jennifer Smith or John Smith. If they have a legitimate case, they have a legitimate case. And just because they're going to get a green card at the end result doesn't mean that the case is fake.
Insiders say the recent rush of Queens-based Punjabis seeking special immigration status helps explain why the number of guardianship cases in Queens jumped 75% last year. No other borough experienced an increase anything close to that size. Judges say the cases add costs and stress to a court already understaffed and overburdened.
I would imagine that the federal government has better investigative tools than a humble family court judge in Queens County sitting in a courtroom without any.
But if the local judges are forced to rubber stamp these cases at their level, the I-Team has learned the federal government just rubber stamps them again. The Department of Homeland Security tells us last year it rejected only 3% of the 1,400 applications for special immigrant status from New York.
Federal immigration officials say the way the system is set up, they have to rely on the findings of the family court and have no jurisdiction over how thoroughly the judges can evaluate these cases.
Judge Hunt says he sat down with the I-Team because he feels New Yorkers deserve to know about this pipeline through their courtrooms. He says he's afraid it could be encouraging more men like Amandeep Singh to smuggle themselves here.
There's a criminal element that is prospering. The humanitarian statute designed to protect children could result in children flocking here to get the benefit of it, and at the same time, while they're doing that, expose themselves to danger and expose themselves to criminal elements.
And the Sikh community in Queens is not the only community where we're seeing an increase in young people applying for this special immigration status. Long Island courtrooms have recently seen a surge in cases like these from Central America. And in some of those cases, when judges rejected the applications, they were overturned on appeal. Some appellate courts have ruled that it's not the family court's role to determine whether the applications are being made in good faith. Judges tell us that's just another example of their latitude in these cases being very limited. Sheba and David.
What kind of documentation is offered in these cases? How do the judges know that these people are who they say they are, Melissa?
It's a good question. I have seen some of the ID that these young people come in with to court. Some of it, I can tell you, is totally unofficial. Some of the young men bring birth certificates and passports from their countries of origin, though I have had court staff tell me they would not necessarily be able to tell if those documents are authentic. Yeah. The federal government would have to determine that, if anybody.
Yeah, and there lies another problem. Melissa, thank you.
Some exhaustive work by the I-Team. If you have something you think the News 4 I-Team should look into, call us at 1-866-NEWS-244.